The Bible is a television miniseries based on the Bible. It was produced by Roma, Downey and Burnett and was broadcast weekly between March 3 and March 31, 2013 on History Channel. It has since been adapted for release to theaters as a feature film. The 2014 American epic biblical drama Son of God.Burnett, best known for producing primetime hit reality shows, considers the scripted 10-hour series to be the most important project he has undertaken. The project was conceived by Burnett and Downey, who are married, after watching Cecil B. DeMille's 1956 film The Ten Commandments for the first time since childhood. The series is Burnett's first scripted project. In addition to Burnett and Downey, executive producers include Richard Bedzer and History's Dirk Hoekstra and Julian P. Hobbs. The first episode of the miniseries was seen by 13.1 million viewers, the largest cable television audience of 2013 to date. The second installment continued to deliver blockbuster ratings for the network, attracting 10.8 million viewers. The third installment on March 17, 2013 was once again the No. 1 show on all of Sunday night television with 10.9 million total viewers. In addition, the series garnered 4.2 million adults 25 to 54 and 3.5 million adults 18 to 49. In total, with subsequent airings, the Bible has received more than 100 million cumulative views. The series received 3 Emmy Award nominations for Best Miniseries and Sound Editing and Sound Mixing on July 18, 2013. Parts of the telecast, including unaired footage, have been turned into a feature film about the life of Jesus entitled Son of God. A sequel series with the title A.D. The Bible Continues aired on NBC. Description: the series covers Genesis to Revelation in one Grom narrative within 5 two-hour parts, each containing 2 or 3 biblical stories told through live action and computer-generated imagery. According to Burnett, it included obvious stories such as Noah's Ark, the Exodus, and the life of Jesus Christ. 5 hours are taken from the Old Testament, 5 from the New. The series is based on the New International Version and the New Revised Standard Version of the Bible. Downey and Burnett said their greatest hope in making the series was that it would affect a new generation of viewers and draw them back to the Bible. Part of what we hoped to accomplish with the series was to show the Bible is not simply a collection of unconnected stories which are often discussed and analyzed in snippets with chapter and verse numbers, the couple wrote in an op-ed in the Huffington Post. Instead, we wanted to show how the Old Testament connects seamlessly to the New Testament, how they are one sweeping story with one grand overriding message. God loves each one of us as if we were the only person in all the world to love. Development. In May 2011, the New York Times reported that Downey, Burnett and the production team were selecting stories for the series, with production scheduled to begin in 2012 for a 2013 broadcast. The budget for the series was under $22 million. Researchers and theologians were asked to verify accuracy. Academic consultants included Craig A. Evans, Helen Bond, Paula Gooder, Mark Goodacre and Candy Demos. Shooting took place in Morocco and elsewhere. Burnett and Downey consulted a wide range of pastors and academics, including the Friend Joel Osteen, Joshua Garraway, and a Catholic cardinal, Jeff Tunnicliffe of the World Evangelical Alliance. Read each episode's script and visited the set in Morocco. He wanted to be sure that the final edits would hold together as a singular thematic message throughout the entire series, and was not disappointed. Another consultant, Focus on the Family president Jim Daly, applauded the couple's courage for making the series. Let's face it, it takes some moxie to lift up the Bible in the middle of Hollywood. In fact, when they first proposed the project, they were told to try and tell the story without mentioning Jesus. They refused. Other project advisors included Rick Warren, Erwin McManus, Sam Rodriguez, Paul Ashleman, Bobby Gruenewald, Brad Lomenick, Leith Anderson, Frank Wright, Tom Peterson, Gabe Lyons, Luis Palau, George Wood, Craig Groeschel, Denny Rydberg, Andrew Benton. Days before the series premiere, Downey and Burnett authored an op-ed for the Wall Street Journal arguing that Bible teaching should be mandatory in U.S. public schools because key foundations of knowledge of the ancient world, which informs the understanding of the modern world, are biblical in origin. Cast. The cast is an international ensemble chosen to avoid distracting the audience with recognizable celebrities. Many of the actors came from a background in London's theatre district. For the purposes of this list, each hour is a whole episode. Episodes. Reception. TV ratings. The opening episode of the series premiered to very high ratings. The mini-series was watched by 13.1 million total viewers, according to Nielsen. In Canada, the premiere was watched by 1.05 million viewers. The second installment saw a rating slippage but still brought in 10.8 million viewers, tops in all television for the 8 to 10 p.m. time period. Week 3's installment, meanwhile, garnered 10.9 million total viewers. Critical reception. Reviews of the Bible have been mixed. It has had a mixed or average reviews rating at Metacritic, having a score of 44 out of 100 based on 13 critical reviews. Distribution. On March 19, 2013, Roma, Downey and Mark Burnett offered remarks on the viewership and its anticipated diffusion. He said, "We've realized, on the journey around the country to churches and all over the place, many people cannot afford cable TV, and those people need to see this Bible series. So we're rushing the DVD out April 2nd, also immediately with Spanish subtitles. This is very important, and this is only for America and Canada. Now we're about to start around the world. This will be in every country of the world. More people will see this series than everything we ever made together combined. Billions of people will see this series. Billions. Differences from the Bible. In the introduction to each episode, the message is displayed. This program is an adaptation of Bible stories that changed our world. It endeavors to stay true to the spirit of the book." Roma Downey stated in an interview, "We had a great team of scholars and theologians helping us, making sure that we told these stories accurately and truthfully. However, many of the story elements in the series have been criticized as deviating from the events described in the traditional text, and using too many creative licenses. These are included below. In the Bible, Noah's 3 sons are full-grown men, whereas in the TV series they are depicted as boys. Also, in the mini-series, Noah has a couple of young daughters but not in the Bible. Note, these young girls are not Noah's daughters but his daughters-in-law. In the book of Genesis, the angelic visitors were approached by Lot, who insisted that they stay with him. Then they feasted with Lot in his home. The series shows the angels approaching Lot begging for help with no hospitality extended to them. The text describes a mob gathered outside of Lot's home wanting to rape his 2 angelic visitors, and Lot offering his daughters instead. The series omits this. At the destruction of Sodom, the series shows the angels slaughtering some of the city's inhabitants. Critics refer to these as ninja angels. This is not in the text. The series shows Abraham traveling with Isaac, a very short distance to the place where he was to sacrifice his son. In the Bible it is a 3-day journey and the two are accompanied by a donkey and 2 attendants. The series shows Sarah running after Abraham once she realizes he is going to sacrifice Isaac. This is not in the text. In the binding of Isaac, the text describes a ram caught by its horns in a thicket. The mini-series depicts a juvenile lamb caught by its leg. When Moses appeared to Pharaoh years later, the text shows Moses' brother Aaron releasing his shepherd's staff onto the ground, which turns into a snake, wherein Pharaoh's magicians copying the trick. The series omits this. The Bible text says that Samson tied torches on 300 foxes' tails, causing them to burn the Philistines' crops and plants. This was because Samson was angry with his father-in-law for giving his wife to another man. When they had this, they burned Samson's wife and her father to death. In the series, the Philistine commander has Samson's wife and her father to death as consequence for marrying Samson, who was an Israelite. After David's affair with Bathsheba and the killing of Uriah the Hittite, he is confronted by Nathan. The series depicts David as resistant or even indignant, whereas in the text, David is remorseful for his sin and admits his guilt, leading him to write Psalm chapter 51 and beg forgiveness from God. When the Babylonians destroyed Jerusalem, Jeremiah is depicted as escaping unnoticed by the invaders. In the text, Jeremiah is captured, bound in chains, and later released. The show depicts Daniel and his 3 compatriots being captured during the siege, when in fact, they were deported more than a decade before Jerusalem's destruction. When Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego refused to worship King Nebuchadnezzar's golden statue, the mini-series depicts them as being tied up, with a fire lit under them. In the text, the king orders the 3 to be thrown into a furnace that was heated 7 times hotter than usual. In fact, the text describes the furnace as being so hot that some of Nebuchadnezzar's strongest soldiers who threw them in were killed by the flames while doing so. The mini-series depicts the prophet Isaiah as a contemporary of Daniel, living during the time of the Babylonian exile. This is a major inconsistency with the text, as Isaiah prophesied that Cyrus the Persian would release the captives after a period of time. This prophecy occurred 150 years before Cyrus was born, 180 years before Cyrus performed any of these feats, and 80 years before the Jews were taken into exile, meaning that Isaiah could never have existed contemporaneously, that is, at the same time, as Daniel and Cyrus. In the mini-series depiction of the temptation of Christ, the devil took Jesus to a high mountain when he tempted Jesus to throw himself down. In the text, the devil tempted Jesus to throw himself down from the pinnacle of the temple. The high mountain was where the devil tempted Jesus to worship him. In the Bible, Jesus had the mourners remove the stone, and then he called for Lazarus to come out. In the mini-series, Jesus enters Lazarus's tomb and kisses him on the head, while not even addressing Lazarus, and gives a brand new monologue. Look-alike controversy. There have been claims of a resemblance of the actor in the role of Satan to U.S. President Barack Obama. The resemblance was first pointed out notably by Glenn Beck ahead of the episode's premiere. This led the History Channel to announce, History Channel has the highest respect for President Obama. The Bible series was produced with an international and diverse cast of respected actors. It's unfortunate that anyone made this false connection. History's The Bible is meant to enlighten people on its rich stories and deep history. Burnett and Downey responded in a joint statement, "This is utter nonsense." The actor who played Satan, Mehdi Hassani, is a highly acclaimed Moroccan actor. He has previously played parts in several biblical epics, including satanic characters, long before Barack Obama was elected elected as our president. Downey added separately, "Both Mark and I have nothing but respect and love for our president, who is a fellow Christian. False statements such as these are just designed as a foolish distraction to try and discredit the beauty of the story of the Bible." Awards and nominations. The Bible was nominated for 3 Primetime Emmy Awards: Outstanding Miniseries, a movie; Outstanding Sound Editing for a Miniseries, movie or a special; and Outstanding Sound Mixing for a Miniseries or a movie. The 44th GMA Dove Awards gave a tribute to the miniseries in October 2013. In 2014, The Bible won the honor of Home Media Magazine's Best Miniseries, a TV movie on disc for the year. Other media. International Broadcast's DVD release. The series became the biggest-selling miniseries on DVD in its first week of release, and biggest on Blu-ray and digital HD of all time. In its first week on home video, the Bible series sold 525,000 copies. It was the fastest-selling television show on DVD since 2008. A Blu-ray version is also available via 20th Century Fox. Novel. Roma, Downey and Mark Burnett have also released a novelization of this mini-series, entitled A Story of God and All of Us, a novel based on the epic TV mini-series, The Bible. It debuted at number 27 on the New York Times bestseller list. Soundtrack: A CD was released on March 12, 2013, with Christian music singers performing songs inspired by the miniseries. In Your Eyes, Francesca Battistelli. Live Like That, Sidewalk Prophets. This Side of Heaven, Chris August. Starting Line, Jason Castro. Love Come to Life, Big Daddy Weave. Crave for King and Amp, Country. Fearless, Group 1 Crew. What Love Means, Ever Found. Home, Dara McLean. Wash Me Away, Point of Grace, Not for a Moment, Meredith Andrews. Mary, Did You Know, Kenny Rogers with Winona. Theatrical release. Mark Burnett announced in April 2013 that a 3-hour version is being prepared for global theatrical release. He claimed that he has had no distribution arrangements yet, though he could possibly release it himself. In June 2013, Burnett elaborated that the film, which has already been edited, will focus exclusively on the life of Jesus, and will run 2 hours and 15 minutes. In September 2013, it was announced that 20th Century Fox will partner with Burnett on theatrical distribution, currently titled Son of God. In October 2013, it was announced that Son of God will be released on February 28, 2014. Sequel A.D. On December 17, 2013, it was announced that there would be a follow-up mini-series in 2015, titled A.D. The Bible Continues, also produced by Burnett, Downey, and Bedser. The limited series began airing on NBC on Easter Sunday, April 5. It airs in 12 weekly 1-hour episodes. The story takes place immediately after the events of the Bible, beginning with the crucifixion and resurrection, and continues with the first 10 chapters of the book of Acts. On July 3, 2015, NBC cancelled A.D. The Bible Continues after 1 season. However, producers Burnett and Downey plan future biblical productions on their digital channel.